Hello again, everybody. This is Craig Evans of Autism Hangout, and thank you for tuning in to another installment in Beyond the Headlines, where, as usual, we found the people that are in the world today making a difference for our special kids. And tonight I'm talking to somebody in Dallas that has not only got a great concept, he's in the process of building something that the world hasn't seen before. In fact, it contains a school, a job training facility, and a home for people on the spectrum, all in one. Now, the name of the concept business is called Nonpariel, which means person or thing so perfect that it has no equal or match. Now, such are our special kids that are on the spectrum. Autism Hangout, I'd like to have you welcome, please, Dan Selec. Dan, welcome to Autism Hangout.
Yeah, thank you, Craig.
It's awful nice to have you here. Dan, usually when we get started in these conversations, people like to know, what was your first exposure to autism? How were you first acquainted with the condition?
Well, my youngest has autism, was diagnosed around 3 years of age.
Okay, and how did you get involved from that standpoint? I mean, were you a hands-on father that says, I see something here and I can make a difference in the world?
Well, I suppose I was a father just like all the rest of us that try to struggle and deal with this challenge as best we can. Mm-hmm. As I began to watch him grow, he's now approaching 12 years of age, mm-hmm. I began to notice some special abilities that he has from a technical standpoint through the PC and gaming and photography, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Began to leverage some of those and was very impressed with some of the outcomes that we had.
Now, I know there's pretty much two philosophies people can follow as it relates to autism, and one is the cure crowd, let's fix it, let's take care of it and make people neurotypical, and the other crowd is the one that wants to say, these kids have special gifting, let's develop them. And I'm pretty sure I know which camp you fall in, but did that lead to the genesis of your concept?
Yes, as I did the research like all the other parents out there about what's out there, what's available, I very quickly discovered that I'm not a biologist. I don't know molecular science, but I am a very good technologist and very deeply trained across a pretty broad spectrum of technologies. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we fit in, we plug in. That's where I personally could engage, mm-hmm. and try to do something that's practical, something that's hard to find on the web or in any of the other groups, in a way that can be meaningful and help these kids live fulfilled lives.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've mentioned the fact that you're a technologist, and I know that you're pretty extraordinarily talented in a lot of areas around technology, but you also mentioned photography and some other special interests. So I know that I've described your school very briefly as being a school where kids are developed to their fullest extent, and then they're basically tested and assimilated into training programs that perhaps would align them for jobs and careers. And then the last component is that they would be able to live at this facility. But would you like to take us through the journey, where you are today and where you intend to be?
Yes, I'll try to do so briefly. The technical training program is really based around engaging these kids at a level that they want to be engaged at. So that's typically through gaming. They all enjoy playing, computer games, PC games, things of that nature. There's a lot of technology that's available to us today that we use to train these kids in 3D graphics, in some programming, in level design, all of it with a practical bent towards releasing content to the internet, to the public, as Nonpariel, published content, so that the world can kind of see their unique view on the world, how they do things a little bit different, and it allows us to bring some pretty impressive results. Mm-hmm. As a part of that, you have to get content into these games. So that is done a lot of times through photography. Then we use artistic programs to format material that we put into the games. And so it expands beyond just sitting in front of the PC and working on the keyboard.
Now,
it allows us to engage these kids non-verbally. We see a wide spectrum of kids, some that are completely verbal and some that are completely non-verbal. We have tools to engage them with, in that.
Okay, Skype is acting up on us a bit here, but I think we're still going to be able to continue. You are looking for kids of all levels and all abilities, not just necessarily the ones that are into gaming. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, as the saying goes, stuff happens, and such is the case with the last minute and a half I had of Dan's conversation. My camera cacked. But I can tell you that Dan is very excited about this concept. It's a big concept. It promises a lot of hope for our kids, and he's going to be back in the future to give us updates as to how his development is going. In the meantime, if you'd like more information, you'd like to follow him, you can reach him at www.npitx.org. And thank you again for tuning in to another Beyond the Headlines. I'll be back again soon, hopefully with a little more reliable technology, with another report.